All right, so welcome to this week's Unikernel application spotlight. This week we're looking at GitRoot. So it took me a second to kind of figure out what this actually was, even though it tells you right there it's a GitRoot is a small yet powerful Git forge. Um, but I truly did have to like kind of play around with it for a second to like really kind of grow and understand what it was all about. Um, basically, it's a Git forge, but everything is ran through Git as the administration layer. And so I think the whole emphasis that the maintainers behind this project have is that they didn't really want um, something like GitHub or GitLab or whatever with a lot of menus and a lot of clicking around and using the mouse and crap like that. They basically wanted to run everything using Git as the administration layer, and then customize to however they see fit. And so that's some words to say. It's better just to show you what this is. But yeah, I was attracted to it because it's like I saw, download one binary and you have a forge, yada yada yada. I was like, okay, let's check it out. Yeah, see, they go into like, as a developer I want to, as a developer I don't want to. So yeah, the best way to show this is to just play around. Let's grab the package. This opens up two ports. One is a web port. One is a port for Git. And we're gonna load it up 45, 46, and 45, 45. Okay, so to get started, you actually have to clone what they would call the root repo, right? So 45, 45 root, we clone it, we pop in. There's not much there, right? A little readme or anything. But what we can do first is, this is the main web page, so it comes with like a readme equivalent. But if we wanted to change that, we can do Bob was here into index HTML. We'll go ahead and add it, and then we'll go ahead and commit it, adding in first page, git push origin main, pushed, and Bob was here. So okay, that's interesting, but this is the root GitRoot repo, right? Most forges, you want to like create repos, you want to do PRs and so forth. So let's go ahead and add a repo. How would we do that? Well, this is where it gets interesting. There's this GitRoot where some of this configuration lives, and in fact, if we look at repo configurations, is it that? No, it's repositories. Basically, this has the list of repos that we want. And so watch this. So now we do like my repo, right? We'll do owners. I guess this is just kind of like open to the world when you do this. You can set it to use specific keys. I think we need this default branch maybe. I think that's all you need. My repo. We might have to look at the docs. But let's go ahead and commit it, adding in my repo. Okay. And then if we just kind of scroll up real quick, now let's try to clone this. See if I actually did this right. And that was my repo, right? So we're outside of the root. Now we're gonna clone this other guy. And we have a new repo. So so that kind of gives you an idea of like how they do administration with this. Like basically I was using Git to make a new repo. If I wanted to add users to it, I can do that. If I can start to ban users. I've personally banned like 3 or 4 bots from the Nanos repo in the past 3 or 4 months. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting take. It has this kind of minimalistic kind of ethos to it, which I think kind of dovetails into Unikernel ideology and so forth. It has these plugins, so you can like just add in random plugins um, to your repo. You know, you can do things like issues and so forth, and then obviously browse the code. Um, so this looks like it's they're the one that's serving this page. I don't know for sure, but it kind of looks like it. And yeah, it just has a lot of interesting stuff. The actual package is this. So let's go look at what the package looks like. So there's nothing special in here. Basically, you pointed at a data directory, and then I gave it a base size of 100 just so I could have room to play with. We can kind of see all the crap. You can see like it's creating the repos in here. So there's root, data way 0. Interesting. I didn't know that they were using that. When you initially start this, it creates a conf file, and so these are all the main settings. Obviously, we're not using this. Obviously, there is no SSH. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty straightforward, right? And then oh yeah. So if we wanted to look at the tree, yeah. So see, I did a tree on the image that I created, which is obviously different from the package. And so we have our root repo, and then we have the my repo that I created here, and then some public and private keys that it created. But yeah, this is an interesting little project. And like I said, it took me a second to kind of figure out what it actually was. But now that I know, it works really great running as a nano C kernel. All right, till next week.